Good evening. 30% in US use astrology, tarot, or fortune tellers. About 30% of American adults make use of astrology, tarot cards, or fortune tellers at least once a year, but only a small percentage rely on these practices to make major decisions. That's according to a nationwide survey of 9,593 US adults released on March 21st by the Pew Research Center. According to Pew, about 20% of US adults say they engage in such activities mostly just for fun, while about 10% say they engage because they believe the practices give them helpful insights. Only about 1% say they rely a lot on what they learn from these practices when making major life decisions. Yet, it's a big business. The psychic services industry, which includes things like astrology, palm reading, there's my baby. I'm sure biting my hands. That was my ouchie. Yeah. Okay, where was I? Palm reading, psychic readings, and fortune telling generated an estimated $2.3 billion in 2024 and employed 105,000 people, according to market research firm Ibis Ward. The Pew study survey found that younger adults, and especially younger women, are more likely than other age groups to use astrology or horoscopes. According to a Pew, about 40% of women aged 18 to 49 say they believe in astrology. That compares with about 30% of women aged 50 and older and about 20% of men under age 50. According to the survey, about half of LGBTQ plus adults use astrology or a horoscope at least yearly. Pew found that about 20% of LGBTQ plus adults say that when they make major life decisions, they rely at least a little on what they've learned from psychic service. However, adults aged 60%, what was I reading? However, adults aged 65 or older, those with high incomes and college degrees, and those who identify as, politically conservative are less likely than other adults to believe or engage in psychic service. According to Ibis Ward, the psychic services industry's total revenue has increased by more than 4% annually since that start of the coronavirus pandemic 5 years ago, when business closures, sickness, and loss of loved ones caused increased demand. Ibis Ward said personalized reports and virtual readings were becoming popular with younger consumers thanks to our easy access via mobile apps and social media platforms. Discussion. What are your thoughts on Pew's findings? I think it's natural. Everybody, ouch, don't bite, my baby. Yes. Do you find it surprising that so many Americans make use of astrology, tarot, and fortune tellers? No wonder. I don't do it, but I used to ask if my friends are kind of into it, then they can read. Yeah, it was kind of fun. Are you into astrology? Have you ever done a tarot reading? I ask my friends to do it for me. I don't know how to. Do you know anyone who strongly believes in astrology or psychic readings? Yeah. Yeah? My baby? Oh my god, look at your hair. Ow. Fortune tellers common where you live? Yes, I think so. For the discussion, would you rather relive a moment from your past or look into your future? Of course, the future. Do you tend to rely more on instinct or logic when making decisions? Both. Both. What advice would you give someone who is struggling with a big life decision? Just think hard, yes. Who do you usually turn to for help and advice before making big life choices? Couple of my friends, yes. Being psychic does not necessarily mean seeing an event that has not yet occurred. It is rather seeing the inner nature of something. Frederick Lenz, what are your thoughts on this quote? I think that's true. There's like a fortune tellers actually reading your mind and just like trying to tell you what you want to hear basically. So it's all in you and us.